My name is Christian Montgomery. I'm the recruitment coordinator for the Office of Career and Professional Development. We're located on the second floor of Gebhardt. I manage a team of 7 peer career advisors. These are student workers that are an extension of our office. They are comprised of students both out of our budget and federal work study students. Our peer career advising team was formerly just student workers or student assistants, basically help with different clerical tasks around the office. Over time, we have transitioned them to the peer career advisor title. And the purpose of that was to make them a more involved member of our team, someone that didn't just help out around the office, but also provided services across campus or when they're actually in our office. I think the career readiness competencies are important among our student workers because they provide a backbone for me as a manager to be able to provide advice. And you really see that over the course of the semester. At the beginning, things like professionalism and work ethic, just doing little things like showing up on time or communicating if that's not going to be the case, closing the loop on a project. Like those are some things to start with that when I can frame, hey, I noticed you're a couple minutes behind, it would be really helpful to kind of know that up front. To be able to frame that in terms of communication is really key, one of those career readiness competencies. That's something I can say employers are going to look for that. It's something that helps our team know so that we don't really worry about how things are going to go on. As the semester progresses, we can go ahead and get into some other things such as a global readiness, for example. That's something that we can talk about in terms of you've met with a number of different students, what have your experiences in those been? Okay, cool, that's really great. You talked about making sure that you don't make any assumptions about a student. That's excellent. That's an example of your global readiness. Other things we've done to include career readiness have been taking on new projects. Again, as peer career advisors, an extension of their roles, we've wanted them to maybe explore new products that are available in the career development space. Well, digital technology and being willing to take on a new technology platform is crucial for students and professionals, and so we need them to be open to just hopping in and learning what they can. So those are a couple of the ways that we've brought career readiness competencies into our work with our peer career advising team. Sure, I think for starters, at the beginning of the semester when we had our peer career advising team together for the first time, one of the things that we did is showed them the career readiness competencies and showed all 8 of them and went through them one by one. So they had an understanding of, okay, we're going to be returning to these 8 competencies again and again and again. Advice, we might talk about advice based off of those competencies. We might talk about performance based off of those. We might talk about how we interact with other students based off those. So from the beginning, they knew that these competencies were going to be a major theme through the semester. Our team meets every other week, and so it's helpful from a team perspective when we're sharing news in the office or new projects that we might be working on. Every 2 weeks we have a chance to revisit those competencies and talk about where we're seeing them in practice and how we can improve them in different ways. As for at the individual level, because my student workers are in and out and because those peer career advisors work different schedules, we took the opportunity to, in the middle of the semester, have them do a career readiness competency assessment where basically they looked at the definitions and reflected on what are things that I can be doing to improve or what do I want to work on. And it was good because we could talk about what they've done well and then basically where they can advance. As a supervisor, that was a really helpful exercise because I knew some things that I wanted them to improve upon, and because we had the competencies, I could go ahead and attach that to a competency to make it a little more relevant for them, not just now, but when they ultimately leave our office. Here at Belmont, we're pushing the career readiness competencies and educating students about these competencies in a number of ways. The Office of Career and Professional Development we're working hard to embed these in the classroom and teach our faculty how to incorporate the competencies into their coursework and their curriculum. We're of course bringing these into individual meetings, but also we are making them a central part of our Belmont and Beyond series, whether it be different speakers or presentations, we're identifying at least one of the competencies that's really a central component of each of those events. But lastly, we have 1,000 student workers here on campus at Belmont. It's crucial that we bring the career readiness competencies into our work with those students because, again, they provide a framework for us to help our students get settled into a role, to understand our expectations of them when they come in, and to ultimately practice things that are going to serve them when they leave campus after 4 years. At the beginning of the semester, students had an opportunity to fill out basically a survey. They asked them what career readiness competencies they wanted to work on. As a supervisor, that was helpful for me because it was easy to identify where were they at a certain starting point, and over the course of the semester, how have they taken steps to. And in just talking about it, even in the middle of the semester, if we don't feel like we've made great progress with them on that competency, it's a good conversation about what are some things we can include into your work or that we incorporate into your time in the office that lets you focus on those competencies and feel more confident in that area. The other thing that supervisors should be aware of is that they're going to be asked to complete an evaluation of their student workers. Well, those evaluations are closely aligned with the career readiness competencies, and students are asked to identify who their supervisor is so that supervisor can fill out that survey. I cannot stress enough that my students, after they sent that survey over to me, they wanted to know when we were going to talk about it. They were excited to talk about the results and what I thought about their performance at this point. And that's a really great place to be as a supervisor. Having students thinking critically about, okay, what am I doing right now and where can I improve? That's good in any situation. It's particularly beneficial when they have those competencies already in mind.